Hey Cougar fans, Dan Gensler, Sports Information Director here with University of Sioux Falls head football coach Jed Stugart. The Cougars have started spring practice and we've asked Jed to come on and share some reflections of the practice session to this point. Jed, you're coming off another outstanding year. You guys are 53-16 while you've been head coach for the Cougars. 9-3 a year ago, and you made your first appearance in the postseason playoffs. A lot of momentum with the program, and it appears from what we've seen early on, a lot of energy and enthusiasm. Talk about the early days of practice so far.
Well, it's just been that. I mean, we recognize the energy and enthusiasm, back when we started our winter workouts, and so we were really excited about spring football just because we saw a lot of kids that were number one. Although we made history, it's not the history we wanted, and so that's really motivated them to the point where they know they got to put the work in, and now we're seeing it on the field, and it's really cool because what I'm seeing is a lot of similarities to last year's team, but even the year before as far as the closeness. We were a very close team last year, but it was there was some unique things, and that's what I'm seeing about this team is there's some more unique things going on with this team that I just love that usually are good signs. These guys really love each other. They love being together. You see so many offensive and defensive guys hanging out. And so to me, that's a great indicator. So a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, and we're seeing, it seems like a team that looks very fast. That's one thing we've seen on film is guys that are flying around and making plays on the ball and are bursting when they catch a ball. And so that's kind of exciting. So far it's been a good start. Not a lot of, we're not seeing a lot of mental errors in practice. You're not seeing, just really a good start. Now, that's usually the case through the first 5 practices. And now we've been, even to hear some of our players talk about, okay, it's easy for the first few practices to be excited. Now, to get the best out of our 15, can we go into this next wave and keep that enthusiasm and keep getting better?
I remember this afternoon, earlier today, I was talking with your defensive coordinator, Tremaine Jackson. We were talking about how there's opportunity for a lot of young kids now to step into roles, and I mentioned to him that there's momentum when you're a winning program year after year, 22 straight years for the University of Sioux Falls. Mm-hmm. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I do. And we're probably going to make for boring interviews to the media about this defense, because that's going to be the #1 question is, hey, you graduated some guys. And the boring part of it's probably going to be I'm not going to have a great answer right now because we have the same questions. I wish we could just say, well, we've got all the answers figured out. But here's the deal: we've had great recruiting classes. We're talking about just experienced guys graduating. We've got guys. We've got young guys, and we've got guys that have been on the field. They just haven't been in starting roles. So, I don't really feel overly concerned about that, where people just look at graduation. Because 2 years ago, it was a defense, we were in the same boat. We weren't really sure what to expect. And in some cases, the same was offensively 2 years ago. And, man, we had one of our best defenses that year of just a bunch of – we didn't know much about Solomon St. Pierre. No. Then Tidwell, we knew more about John than we did Solo. But, man, he just – like I said, he just flourished, and so it's fun to see some of these guys out here running around in the first few practices where it's like, hey, I can't wait to kind of see when there's live bullets flying a little bit. So it's kind of fun. I'm not. I feel that, not to answer your question, but we don't. I don't think we don't. I don't always put it in a concerning category. I think if you're just starting a bunch of new guys that you've never seen the field, yeah, there could be some concern, but. Feel very optimistic about who's out there.
It's their time, so to speak. I get that. And on the defense, you've got some really standout leaders. You got guys like Josh Butler, led the team in tackles a year ago. He really has shown some leadership this spring. You have guys, Wesley Johnson, who haven't had sacks a year ago, and he's looked like dynamite early on. And then you've got a kid in the secondary that had his coming out party, so to speak, last year in Cliff Redmond.
Absolutely. Cliff, with some of John's injuries, got a lot of playing time last year, and that was a guy we had a hard time keeping off the field. You had arguably the two best corners in our minds, and then here you got another guy like Cliff, and it was when John had some injuries, he was able to. He made a big play in the Duluth game that saved the game there, and so he's got a lot of experience. And you bring a guy like Matt Young that's really got his cut his teeth last year. That's now had an off season as a safety, and it's kind of been quiet back there from last year, but is another brings experience. So it's Evan Gentry is another one that
good leader,
going into his
two-time All-League guy.
Yeah. So up front, we got some youth in the interior, but we've got some. Like I said, it's youth. I like our quality, but it is youth, and that's kind of fun. And you got to remember, those guys have been chomping at the bit, and they're just dying to show that they're ready, and I love that about it.
50 starters return, or 50 letter winners return. You have something like 18 starters combined, at least started at least one game a year ago. Offensively, you have a lot of talent coming back, led by two-time Harlan Hill quarterback Luke Papillion, and then your receiving core is led by Brady Rose and Josh Angula, Eric Allbeck, tight end Nicholas Stanky, who was all-league, and then you go to the offensive line, and that's deep. You have a all-league. Couple All-League players, Antonio Green, who got All-Region mention and honorable mention All-American this past year, and then you have Trevor Westcott.
Yeah, it's if there's a security blanket on our team right now, you look at what's cool is we bring back a lot of experience offensively. We get that, but what's cool, I think what's different is we had that last year, and I think we took it for granted. And those guys recognize it. I don't think we got complacent. I just think that we were a little passive last spring. We were a little bit protective. We were wanting to get through so much without injury and all these types of things. Does not mean that we're starting to do all this crazy banging and stuff. It's just that we recognize that just because you've got a lot of guys coming back doesn't mean it's naturally going to happen. I think one of the proudest moments I had with our team last year is that everybody in this league, I think every coach will say, man, we were devastated by injuries, and like it's supposed to be an out. We'd recognize that wasn't an out. We still got to play. But injuries are a part of football. People, our fans and other people might say, well, I've heard more people say because we had those injuries, we lost some games. That could be true, not true. The reality is our expectation is the next guy up, you got to step in and play. And so, because of that, I was really proud of how our team fought through a lot of adversity and won some games that maybe they didn't think we could because people thought we could because of the injury state we were in. But, man, it's been a great experience for this team and the experience that those kids did have, but also recognizing, hey, there's no excuse, though. The next guy's got to be up and ready to go. And it shows you the depth that you got to have, and so I'm excited to have some of these guys healthy back, and we're seeing our run game is something we're going to really emphasize this spring, in getting better. We led the league in not giving up sacks, and that was huge, and we're up there in the country, and that was a good thing. But again, our offensive line doesn't want to just brag on that. That's a nice deal, but they want to run the ball better. And it's good to have a healthy Max Mickey back and those types of things. But again, you go to the heart of that kid playing through a knee injury like he had last year, and Justin Folks that transferred here as a receiver and starts to get the groove as a running back again. And Colton Miles is a young kid that we've been excited about because he brings some size to the backfield. It's exciting. There's some weapons over there. I know Coach Vorka and the guys are. It's like they've got their toys, and they're kind of excited with some of the evolution of our offense, and what we're evolving even more to is something he's been excited about with some of these weapons.
Finishing up, I mean, we'll get you back on next week, but Quickly, any scrimmages for fans to pay attention? I know we have Cougars Day coming up, Cougar Kids Day coming up on
Next
April.
Saturday. We'll have of course our spring game's the 29th. We do have a couple scrimmages that people all of our, and we've got those online and stuff.
Yeah.
There'll be a few scrimmages in there. We don't have just a set day where we're going to just scrimmage the whole time. We have a lot of live situations intermixed throughout our practices, but all of our practices are open. We've had a lot of fans that have come out and watched, and the kids kind of enjoy that, see that people take an interest. So people are always more than welcome to come out.
Again, fans, remember April 29th at Bob Young Field, the Cougars will have their spring game. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Jed, thanks for stopping by and tell us about updating, and we'll get back with you a little bit later.
Absolutely.